also to be here. Like you said, water is something that is transboundary. That's what I believe in. And I feel like water is something that is very vital to the whole world. We cannot live without water, and thus water is life. And so I believe in that. But just like you have alluded to, because of climate change that is really happening over the years, we're having climate variability that is these small to medium effects, looking at patterns of rainfall, temperatures that are rising, water is being lost. So just like we are losing our forests, we are also losing water, because these are the things, the natural beings that help us create water. So if you're going to look at the bigger picture of the water cycle and how water moves, the movement of water through the different cycles, if I am just afraid that in the few years to come, the next generation might not have enough water to really use, because from where I stand right now in East Africa, we have a water body that is Lake Victoria, that is shared by the three East African countries, where we have Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. And each year we see its levels going down, then coming up, then going down. But them coming up is not that the water is increasing, no. The resource has been degraded. People have encroached on it. So you find that it is getting silted, just like our rivers in Uganda right now. We have very many rivers. Of course, we have River Nile that is flowing up to Egypt, yeah. But we also have smaller rivers. We have tributaries of these from the lakes and all that. But each time we are finding that these rivers are being degraded, so they are getting a lot of silt. They're having all that. So the water quality is not good. And if water quality is also not good, then the water quantity is also reducing in the time. So just like you're saying that water is really going down. It's reducing, and that's just my only worry. That the next generation that we are going to have, I don't know what they're going to find, because recently Lake Victoria, like I told you, turned green. It was actually smelling.
Mhm.
Because of what people are doing, people around it. It turned green, it was smelling for a very long time, just like a week, because my office is just near it. So it was a very bad thing. Imagine water reaches a point to smell, and this is water that is
Mhm.
stagnant, because that lake water doesn't move, it is stagnant. It only moves
So,
when it has tributaries that are connected to it. So my only worry is that I want to look at water. I want to look at the factors that are leading to our water being like that, being deteriorated in terms of water quality,
yeah.
in terms of quantity. And, you know, just like you've said, of course, I saw your profile, like you're also saying about water care services, and I see that you're doing a lot of water treatment. So you find that in the long run, the costs of treating this water becomes very
Yes.
high. Therefore,
Yes.
it becomes it becomes very high for people
Very true.
to also afford, because, you know, I am from a developing country, so not everyone has access to water. We're having areas that have water scarcity, but even areas which have water, they don't have scarcity of it. It is not water that you can easily take in. It is
Yes.
very dirty. You can so it needs to be treated, but also the costs of treating this water are very high, so the water becomes expensive for someone to afford. So that's my take on water right now, that I can say for
Yeah.
now. I don't know how it is in Pakistan, what you're doing in terms of maybe treating your water quality, water quantity. I don't know how it is in Pakistan, but for us in Uganda, that is what we are facing. And I believe that in most of the African countries, that is what is
Mhm.
happening at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Very true. Very realistic picture. And what we have here, some of the country has subsoil water, and mostly the rivers, like on the Indus River Treaty, flowing water, and the tributaries, like spreading the water on different parts of the country, and also recharging underground water. And the one side, the coastal line, 650 about kilometer is seawater. very salty water. So this is, you're very right that if the water treatment cost is high, how a common man will afford. So these things, what I believe that the science is taking its path, is evolution process, and but we we need to be more speedy on innovation and science to get this water available for all the human. We have
Yeah.
now treatment of water. It carries high cost. Who will treat? Who will pay? If the cost is too high, can a common man pay? What is the payback period if some investor jumps in, or if what's ROI? So, being an engineer, but you have the thoughts, and this is the current scenario and the future as well, because as per United Nations, water comes the basic human right. For every human, need water. I always say water carries life. Water carries life. We drink water. We get agriculture, cereals, grains by this water. Our animals drink, and we have milk and meat production. So we need water to survive on this planet. And upcoming generations, like the temperature is rising, it's being declared the climate crisis. So the water cycle, maybe if they try are disturbed. So what options are left? So these are the things that keep on human working, and also on the multiple direction. We get more water, we get water intelligent, we are water wise people. And finally, if the countries, cities, and small towns be water positive, and they get sport from rain or the river water, and they use water so wisely, what I see the circularity model. First, human use it, then it's animals, then agriculture, and treated water. If the BOD is less than 5 ppm, you recharge and store in ponds or subsoil, so you can use in future. So this is way, but now the science and engineering is focusing on nutrient recovery, like and if we have a $1 per meter cube treatment cost, we needed to bring down 1 cent per meter cube. So every society can afford this, the basic of the needs. So what you think can be done for future, for human, we, we leave the legacy that the human follows and keep the water available for their upcoming people and country fellows.
Thank you very much. To me, I believe, just like you said, innovation is now the way to go for
Yeah.
the next generation. And I believe that there are ways of which we can easily get water to the common man. So one of the things that I really would suggest that we need to maybe start taking in as people to the way the world is living right now, we need to start water harvesting, different forms of water harvesting. I know that rainwater might not be enough given the fact that we have some areas in like Africa that are arid and they are tropical and they get maybe rainfall just once a year. But for us in Uganda, we are blessed to have two rainy seasons. So rain harvesting is one of them. But of course, given that we cannot rely on the rain because of what is happening due to climate change, that the seasons are changing, where we expected to receive a rain, it's actually not coming. To me, I believe that we need to also have water education clear to people, that we need to start educating people about protecting the resource that they have. Now, this is what we are doing so far in Uganda. We are looking at the degraded areas, like, for example, the water sources that have already been degraded. We tell them to start planning for, we call it a water source protection plan. And after they have done it, they're supposed to implement it. Now, this plan has only three objectives. We look at improving the water quality, improving the water quantity and the livelihoods of the people. If you're going to tell people to move away from the banks of a river, then you're supposed to provide to them alternative solutions or livelihoods that they can start looking at instead of having to be at the river. They are sand mining and doing all that. So we are trying to look at different alternatives that maybe people look at maybe fish farming instead of having to really do the sand mining, different activities that they can do so that they start leaving the banks. In Uganda, we have set a 30-meter buffer zone from the river shores or the lake shores so that they can leave that part to grow naturally and, protect the water. And of course, we have a problem of water hygiene. So we are looking at a way of removing all that from like our
Yes.
Lake Victoria. We have a problem of moving islands. It's really a lot. But I believe that if we work in an integrated manner, uh, countries working together. For example, we like you've said, I believe that water carries no boundary.
Yeah.
So if if
Yes.
if if our river are moving, if River Nile is moving, the source is believed to be in Uganda. So if it is moving from Uganda downstream to Egypt, we are supposed to work in an integrated kind of way. We're supposed to have an integrated approach to work together that we protect our resource. Because if Uganda is doing this and maybe Ethiopia does not agree to what we are doing for us to protect the resource, then I think we are not going to achieve any goal. So I believe that we need
Yes.
to work together, also providing innovative solutions, just like I was telling you, to reduce these treatment costs, we need to start restoring our resources, restoring the river banks, restoring these wetlands, doing water source protection, protecting the source that we have. We have like hydropower plants which are abstracting water. You find at the point where they're abstracting, it's silted. So we are telling them, is there a way you can
Mhm.
protect this resource? And so we are and to look at the threat, why is it silted? Now after you've identified the threat, you identify the pathway where that threat is coming from, and then you start protecting it. So that's what we are trying to do for now in Uganda,
Mhm.
and we have seen it work. We have seen positive impacts from the work that we are doing. Of course, it's a long-term thing that we are looking at. Recently, I was in Malawi, and they have a lake that has been silted for years, and the government had to just evacuate people from the land near the lake. So it's a long decision that they had to take for them to restore their resource, which is the water. So I believe we have to do that for us to start reducing this water quality tests and the water treatment processes. What water has to go through, more or less, more of the surface water, but maybe looking at groundwater. Of course, I know that groundwater is in two different zones. In Uganda, particularly, we are blessed to have a resource of groundwater. So at least that is one of the resources that we are encouraging people to use. That if you cannot use the surface water, which is really highly contaminated, then let's look at groundwater, use of groundwater. Looking at, of course, you have to also
Yeah.
uh, identify identify the aquifer that could really produce a lot of water, and you start giving it to the people. And we've had projects that are even using solar to drill and get the boreholes and provide water to the public, which is even cheaper. So at least that is what we are doing for now, looking at different innovative solutions that can really help the water scarcity issue. Because so far right now, more than 9 million people in Uganda have no access to clean and safe water. So it is that bad.
Yeah, very, very, very good to hear. And Pamela is from Uganda and a very competent engineer. And I learned many things. And we are all one on this planet, all human, and trying to make water available for us and for upcoming human. And anyone want to connect with Pamela, I will share this our recording on LinkedIn, where 31,000 followers can, and everyone can access with Pamela email ID and her contact details. If anyone want to learn more about Uganda water, she will be there. So again, thank you very much, and we'll connect again. And take care, and bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.